those moments that we got to experience this year together as a DC football-loving community that has had almost none of those moments for 30 years. That's what this sport is all about. Let's roll right into it, because number one in our first and 10 today is that it was very simply a bitter, bitter way for that to end. There is no issue, no problem with Washington losing to Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is a significantly more talented football team. Washington is a team without many stars. I think Terry elevated this year to superstar status and is one of the 10 best guys at his position in the sport. Jayden obviously played at a top 5 level this season and had been for much of it, certainly this entire playoffs. He's playing outstanding ball. But Philly's got superstars everywhere, man. Jalen Carter might be the best at his position. Saquon is the best at his position. A.J. Brown is one of the best at his position. On down the list, Kenyon Mitchell, the way he played this year was outstanding. They just got dude after dude after dude after dude. And if you had gone down, giving it your all, your very best, putting on a performance that you could be really proud of, and you lose, okay. But to not give yourself a chance because of the turnovers and the mistakes that were made from penalties committed. I know that a lot of people don't like the Mike Sainristil call, but like things like that. Marshawn Lattimore, the penalty he commits on a 3rd and 13 wild scramble attempt by Jalen Hurts, and you commit a PI in the end zone. Like, those types of things do not give you a chance. And if that's also who you've been, a high variance team that gets away with some stuff sometimes, or Jayden bails you out, okay. But that's not who they've been. They've been a clean football team. They did not commit a ton of penalties this year. They did not turn the football over pretty much all season. They had like 19 turnovers all year, and 9 of them were in 2 games against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's no way to win. And thus, they didn't yesterday. With that said, number 2 in our first and 10 is that the Eagles are a much better football team, and that's what happens sometimes when you play better football teams. Better teams, better talent makes you do things that you don't normally do. And there's no doubt that the way Washington played yesterday was influenced by the fact that they felt like they had to do a little more. Logan was great this morning on Take Command. He was obviously there on the sidelines as part of the radio broadcast yesterday. And Logan talked about how, unlike the Detroit game, where there was just a calm coolness about the entire team, a confidence, yesterday felt a little different. That as things started to go and Saquon hits that first run and all that kind of stuff, that there was a tension within the team and a tension on the sideline and a tension about how they played, how they looked on the field that was different. They felt that Philadelphia crowd. They knew how good Philadelphia was because they'd experienced it. And as things start to snowball and you're going, oh God, here we go again, we're on for a wild ride, they just couldn't settle in. And, you know, I think the Diami fumble and the Eckler fumble are 2 prime examples of this, where guys are just trying to do too much. You know, Diami, if you catch that screen and you're going and you have a chance to get upfield and just bury your head and get an extra 3-4 yards, fine. You don't need to circle back and extend that play out. The Eagles are way too fast defensively, and they catch you, they string you out, and then you get Bond and DeJean able to get in there and get that punch and hit combo and knock that ball out. So when you face better teams, you do things typically that you don't normally do. You press, you get forced into it by the game script, you start taking chances, and lo and behold, next thing you know, if those chances don't hit, you are spiraling the other direction. And the downside is not worth it, especially early on in the game. But they're in that thing, despite all that. They're in it until that Eckler fumble. That's not to put it on Austin. Had they not had some of the other issues, then maybe that's not as problematic. But they're still in it until that moment, and that's kind of when it all went terribly wrong. Number 3, and last big picture thing, and then I'll hit a couple of specific things from the game, and then we'll get to the phones at 301-230-0980. This season was a season to remember. And I think the thing that is so great about it is it's not just a team that kind of mundanely won a bunch of games. Like, the Chiefs are having a season to remember, and if they cap it off with their 3rd straight Super Bowl, then that will be incredible for Kansas City fans. But I don't think there's a ton of moments this year that the Chiefs fans are like, oh yeah, that was my favorite part of the season. It's like, yeah, we won. And then we won again, and then we won again. There's no excitement to it. There's no story arc. It's just like, I guess the blocked field goal against Denver, Isaiah Likely's shoe being too big in week 1. Like, they got a lot of those things that I guess are defensive stands, but think about how many moments this season had. The Hail Mary, J-Mo's winner against Philly, the overtime drive against Atlanta. Obviously, the number one of them all is the Hail Mary. And my favorite moment of the season in the moment, until the context, it makes this one that'll probably get lost to the history books, is the Terry touchdown against Dallas. Obviously, that's in the middle of all of that chaos with the kick return and the missed extra point and all that kind of stuff. But in that moment, because it's the next time we're in the stadium after the Hail Mary, to see Jayden author another magic moment, this one to Terry, like, that was incredible. I'll never forget looking down at David Aldridge being like, is this what we're in for the next decade with this kid? This is incredible. And so those moments are, no matter how this season ended, first round loss to Tampa, second round loss to Detroit, or what ultimately happened, getting blown out by Philly in Philly, if it had been a close game, whatever. If that's the case, okay. Like, those endings are what they are. Versus a Super Bowl, and obviously that would have probably put the last little bit of touch on it. But those moments that we got to experience this year together as a DC loving or football loving community that has had almost none of those moments for 30 years. That's what this sport is all about. That's why football at its best is the best. Is there's just something about it that is so magical, that is so captivating. It takes the team. Because it takes the team, we all feel like we're a part of it. And the fan base this year was incredible in so many ways. And I, for one, am appreciative as someone who talks about the team and gets to interact with you guys on a daily basis. But I think what's even greater is the sense of brotherhood the team had, the camaraderie, and the fact that at the center of it all is this guy in Jayden Daniels, who is kind of the seed from which all of these moments grow. And if this season is about planting seeds for the future, there's no better seed than that guy. And it's why, even though, yes, we should be cognizant that these moments are fleeting, we should be realistic about the fact that this group is never going to be together again as constructed. We should be cognizant of the fact that it's not guaranteed that you get back here. The teams that do get back here typically are powered by a dude at quarterback. And the Commanders have a dude at quarterback. And that is something that is tremendously exciting. And that's not a guarantee, but it's the highest rate of success. And if he is this, he doesn't even have to, like, I think he's going to get better because, of course, he's going to get better. But even if he just plays like this for the rest of his career, we're talking about a guy that's going in the Ring of Fame, if not the Hall of Fame. That's how good he was as a rookie. So that is tremendously exciting. We'll see how he continues to grow. We'll see how they continue to build around him. But it is just worth mentioning how special this was, and that even the winning, the moments, it all, thanks Washington Commanders for a great 2024 season. Can't wait to see what you guys do to build it up and make another run at it next year.
This is the Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.